Hey everyone, you're here for Merfolk Ice Elementalist Part 2 with Ultraviolent 4. We now have a god, Fedas, also known as the Crazy Plant Lady. I quite enjoy playing Fedas actually. I don't know how you couldn't like it when you have these big goofy mushroom friends. So the way that they work is they follow you around. When they hit your enemies, they confuse them, but they're afraid of being watched. So when they're in vision of an enemy, they won't move. They're basically a cuter version of the weeping angels in Doctor Who. We also picked up a trident on D3, I think. And so I'm training some polearm skill. I'm at 4 now with this glorious +4 polearm aptitude. So I'd say it's time to switch over from the dagger protection I had. This will be our weapon now. And at the moment, we're just training fighting polearms, dodging. I think I also want to turn invocations on. And it's quite possible that we're just going to train invocations for the rest of the game. So the way that what invocations does for Fedas is it gives you more max HP on your mushrooms. Does that actually say? It says about 44. So as you increase invocations, they'll get more max HP. And the other thing is that once you start making Oclob plants, the more invocations you have, the faster they fire their acid bolts. So if you have high invocation, you basically make machine gun Oclobs. It's pretty cool. And you might be sort of scratching your head a little bit because this is supposedly an Ice Elementalist training currently no magic skills. And yes, that's the case. And let's just go down and have a look. Basically, the game doesn't recognize such a thing as a mage. Ooh, we've got a glowing trident. I've got remove curse, let's see what this is. We got a distortion weapon. Well, alright, looks like we're using distortion for a while. If I unequip this, there's I think, 25% chance. It's 25 or 20%, I'm not sure exactly, of being banished to the abyss, which will kill us. So we can just use this for a while. Maybe either if we get a brand weapon scroll, I can brand it, or if I'm still wielding it far enough in the future where I'm strong enough to risk abyss, then I could unwield it then too. Okay, so as I was saying before, we very rudely got stuck with this distortion trident. The game doesn't recognize, and I'm doing air quotes here, mage as a thing. You don't get extra points on your wins for playing mage conduct, where you only use spells and you don't ever use melee. Really, you should do anything that you can to win. So on a Merfolk with such good Polearms aptitude, you'd be kind of crazy not to take advantage of it. And I mean, well, in the foreseeable future, we're probably only going to about 14 skill, which is the min delay on our trident, because there's not really much point going higher than that. At which point we'll be free to focus our spells again. In particular, summon Ice Beast would be really good, and we also can potentially use Throw Frost and stuff as well, because that's a ranged option we could fire through our mushrooms. I might even, that sounds pretty good, I might even sometime soon train a bit of conjurations for that, but we'll see. So yeah, there is no such thing as a mage. People act like there is, but really the game doesn't actually care how you win. Alright, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull most things back to my mushrooms. If I see something like that, okay, well, priest got me. Huh, okay. A distortion trident is actually not a bad weapon because distortion does flat levels of damage, so it's good on a fast weapon such as a trident. What happened to the adder? Where did the adder go? I don't know, he moved out of view and then he was gone. Let's read the scroll. Amnesia. No, I'd like to keep both of those. A ruined wit, doesn't really matter. We're stuck with this one for a while. And got confused. Invocations up to 1. Is that the adder? For monsters that are completely trivial, I can just fight them without my mushrooms. But for anything a bit more dangerous than that, I'd like to have my mushrooms help out with their confusion attacks. And I'm trying to remember my best to pray, or the macro that we made to put pray back into the game. Let's read this. Blink to where? How about there? It's a bit of a bummer. Princess Pony's Ghost, a novice octopod fighter, who is apparently red. So we can stand behind a mushroom and see how it goes. You can see here when the mushroom died, I felt a little bit guilty. You lose piety when your mushrooms die. But that's okay. And for the number, this one, the number of mushrooms that you want to make, it's not the case that you want to just keep making a million. I'd say that having about 4 or 5 is probably fine. You don't need to use all your piety to walk around with an army of 10 or so. Alright, d6. And this is maybe part of why Fedas has a reputation for being tedious. It's because you have no recall ability. That would kind of make... If you could recall all your mushrooms, that would kind of get around the fact that they can't move when they're being looked at. So you can't just travel the stairs, go down, and then recall them. You actually have to wait at each stair. And you can only travel 1 floor at a time if you want to keep them all with you. So that's probably a part of it. There are multiple priests there. It's a bit scary. I don't think the other one saw me. Oh, there are actually 4 priests at once. Luckily, look how strong our mushrooms are. Basically, we just teamed up there to one-shot both of them. May as well keep grabbing the piety. And something which I didn't mention, and this is important for the whole mushroom HP thing, it's that every time they spore an enemy, or they shoot their spores at an enemy, I think it's every time. It's either every time or there's a chance every time they do it, but I think it's every time. They shoot spores, they lose HP. So them having more HP is really important if you intend them to last in long, drawn-out fights. It's got a wand of flame. I guess I'll leave it turned on for now. We're still in the relatively early game where wands are useful. So that's, you see all these plants are neutral. So these bushes, I'm not going to do it, but oh, well, I can't do it. I don't have 1 star of piety, but I could upgrade those ones and they would become, I think bushes become burning bushes, which shoot fire, but normal plants make oklobs. I don't know, I've never really used burning bushes. Okay, come on. So we stepped around our mushrooms there. A book of changes. I don't think I really want any of these. No. Sticks to snakes is kind of interesting, but we'd have to train the transmutation spell. I don't think that's a spell that I would train purely for that. Same thing, we're going to step behind our guy and then save him now that the Orc Warlord's dead. And I should be remembering to eat. Because it's invis, I'm going to use my freeze. What happened there? Oh, okay, so I teleported it with the distortion. Something hits your wandering mushroom. Is it up here? Is it? Okay, there it is. So I'm using my freeze because that can't miss. Now that's visible, I can hit it. Got invocations to 3. I thought that guy had seen me, but apparently not. I'm gonna remember to eat sometimes rather than pray all of them. And my Throw Frost is at 28, so I'm gonna use it a little bit more now. We've also still got the Amulet of Magic Regen. Yeah, right. I have to do this because I can't use my macro when no creatures are visible. Z is your normal magic casting button, but if no monsters are visible, you have to use capital Z. Which is basically a I want to do it anyway button. Let's go more int. Okay. Probably don't need all these stones. Or sling bullets, even if I find a sling now, we can't use it. It's kind of an unfortunate place to be. I'm gonna Wand of Acid. Out of range, but I just want to get the priest really. Okay, my wandering mushroom died. That's alright. Right, I can't make toadstools on the tile if there's a mushroom standing on the body. Miscast it. Again. May as well chop it. Once I get piety, I'll probably make a 4th one. I feel like 4 is a good number. Blinked it behind me. There we go. Now I have 4 again. And we're again at 0 piety. But again, that's fine. It's kind of similar to the mage thing. There's no achievement in Crawl for having max piety. If you can win the game with 1 piety most of the time, then that's fine. You can win the game. It doesn't really matter. Bees. I don't really want to fight bees. Let's stay away from those. I have curing, but I also have 6 potions of something. I wonder if that's degen or mutation or something. And this is going to be a mutation roulette game. What have we got here? A scroll of teleport I'd quite like. A +2 ring mail of fire resistance is also quite good. I currently have a +0 ring mail, so I think that would be a nice upgrade. Let's drop the robe and the plain ring mail. And then I think I'd like the teleportation too. All the teleports you can get, great. And there's more fruit here, which is very good for me as a fed-ass follower, but I don't really need it right now. Okay, I've already got boots. Yep, fine. We're still carrying the robe for some reason, because I dropped my Berserk Rage potions. Whoops. There's a bit of tag team action there. I blinked the scorpion back onto my mushroom, who then sucked it in the face. Polearms to 9. So we're quite far on the quest to get our trident to Mindile, which is 14 already. Just shut the door. And then there's actually no point trying to lure him back because he's not gonna care. He'll happily sit there and just shoot me. Alright, which also makes me wonder if I want to use a shield, because well, one of the bonuses again of having a +4 aptitude is it takes very little experience to get to a large two-handed polearm. But if I'm going to be stuck at 14 for a while, maybe I should just invest in a shield. I don't know, I'll think about that one. Not willing to commit to a shield just yet. It's a Sith altar. Not really finding many, what are they called? Identity scrolls. I'm gonna eat that. Just casually butchering and eating corpses in the middle of a battle. These guys are just sitting there throwing rocks. And we lost another mushroom. Let's go 4 again. Right, we're approaching the bees. Here they come. I should use my freeze because I can't miss, and again, similar to adders, the bees rely a lot on their high evasion so that you miss them. You are near starving. Let's eat a royal jelly. Okay, there's D7 done. What I probably should start doing, and if you watch my bio game, it's a fairly standard tactic when you have followers like this, is when you're going down new floors, is to tell them to wait, which you can do with T is your order button, your order menu, and then if you say G, you're telling them to guard the area. So I can go down without them, see if there are any enemies, and then I can pull them up. And those enemies will get butchered as they come up the stair without getting a chance to actually fight. It's very strong. Stair pulling when you have allies, it's very, very strong. And the other reason is that you don't know what's going to be down here when you come down the stairs. So if you're pulling all your guys into a really horrible situation, they're just going to die. And especially because they can't move. So you can't go down the stair and then sort of walk them around a corner or something. You have to fight where you are. Or, of course, you can go back up. They're not being able to move won't stop them going back up the stair. But still, if there were, say, a bunch of centaurs around when that happens, they could get shot. Let's bring them back into my guys. Here's an orc warrior. He gets confused. Because if you think about what this would be like without my mushroom allies, we quite easily fought an orc warrior on D6, which is fairly early. That would have been a really, really hard fight. We probably would have had to use our Wand of Acid, and still probably would have been hard. But with our mushrooms to confuse things, whoa, there's a D8 Death Yak. That's got to be a a lair entrance. So here's another enemy, a death yak. How in the world could we fight a death yak? I'll show you. We'll do what I was just talking about. So we'll take these guys up. We'll tell them to guard the area. And then let's pull him up. Where did he go? Here he is. Pull him up. And then all the mushrooms are over there. No. Okay. Well, let's just pillar dance him around for a bit, because the mushrooms can move when you can't see them. So yeah, they're slowly coming closer. This really is like the Doctor Who Weeping Angel thing. And then look at that. Oh well, I mean we tore him through reality, but all the same. that actually wasn't as straightforward as I was hoping, but we got there, kind of. Alright, let's read this. Brand weapon. Okay, so that we got a Trident of Flaming. So already our distortion issue is solved. Which means that I'm not so keen to jump on the shields plan. We might still, but not super keen. Okay, so we've got a whole pack of Death Yaks on D8. That's actually nuts. I'm gonna acid this guy. And then I should help out. It's kind of... I want to have them fighting as many of them at once as possible, so I get the most chances to confuse as possible. So we were XL 9 just then, and we just fought 2 Death Yaks at once. That's pretty insane. Let's make a new mushroom. And we only lost 1 in the process. These mushrooms are really, really strong. There's the lair entrance, as I suspected. Got a Gozag altar there. Hopefully no more Death Yaks, although we have a whole thing of killer bees. Here they come. If my mushroom starts dying, I'll swap with him. He is. Alright, and I'll just freeze them. We have pretty decent defenses for this stage in the game, with 12 AC and 15 EB. Merfolk are pretty naturally strong. Another priest. Let's take him around the corner. He's very clever, so we'll just fail some throw frosts, but we got him. And again, may as well use that at range. Necrophage. This is also pretty cool. I think Necrophage is one that this works on. I've forgotten about this. I've only just remembered. So your ability to fungal bloom, if we have a look at it, I wonder if it tells you. Yeah, here. Zombies, ghouls, and necrophages are considered walking corpses and affected accordingly. So we can actually use our ability to just kill it. We kill it and we get piety. Is that busted or what? Come on, Spriggan. I should probably just freeze him. Again, he's a high AV monster, so freeze can't miss. Very strong. Step behind our mushroom. It's dying. That hippogriff was really tough. And the howler monkeys are bringing other enemies. There we go. I guess I'll throw a frost at him and then back around the corner. And I want to eat him. Retreat back to my team. Comes an ogre. Good. So we've got a scroll of recharging. That's something we probably want. We have a magic mapping. Sometime in the future we want that too. Probably even the fog. But this unknown scroll for 28 gold could be an awesome bargain. It might also just be like a scroll of torment too, but maybe it's acquirement. It was summoning. A 28 gold scroll of summoning. That's a shame. But, oh well. There's also a book, but 420 gold for an unknown book seems like a massive unnecessary gamble. So I want to ID my Wand of Acid. That's more important than anything else here. It's empty. How much was that recharging? 266, so we can't afford it yet. I have another scroll too, although I think I might just wait, because if it's immolation, my understanding of, again from the Orc game, of how that works with temporary monsters is that when they time out they can explode. So now they're gone. Let's read this. Enchant weapon. We may as well throw it on our trident. Got a +3 trident now. Not bad. And that's D8. So we have Lair here. We could go into Lair, but I don't really want to yet. I feel like it's a little bit early. I probably want to do at least up to D10, but might even start D11. We'll see. I should tell my guys to stay here rather than bring them down. And it looks like the coast is kind of clear. Yep, nothing dangerous here. So I'll collect them. Say, follow me, mushroom guys. And then let's go in search of some zombies to get free piety from. I love that, it's so good. I'll throw it on my boots. Another one, there's acquirement. So, basically, the way the acquirement should work is that if you're using a weapon and you don't yet have some amazing weapon, you want to go weapon. And then, if not that, you pretty much go armor. Fruit is actually a consideration for acquirement with Fedas, but at this point we have so much fruit that I don't really need to bother. But fruit is a legit acquirement target for Fedas followers. Usually that's food, but for Fedas it's always fruit. So we're going to go a weapon and hope it's some really sick artifact. Polearm. It's a glowing glaive. So, well, we saw why you're risking something when you equip any glowing weapon, but we're going to go again. Distortion is so rare. I like how it's still... So it got, inscribed with a warning to unequip it because it was distortion, even though it's now flaming. Yes, we'll really unwield it. So we got a glaive of flaming. I guess that's an upgrade. Yeah, it probably is. It's at skill level 20, so we'll be training it for a bit longer. But that's still pretty good. And I should just get rid of this inscription on the trident. A glaive, even though it's a polearm, will cut off Hydra heads, but because it's flaming it will also cauterize them. So it's a good glaive to have at this stage of the game. We got teleport trapped. So that's really unfortunate. When that happens, because you don't have a recall ability on your mushrooms, you're then separated from them until you can find them again. So I'm going to run towards where they were, which was up here. Where are you guys? There you are. Alright, so that wasn't too bad, but still had the potential to be really annoying. It's a ring. We do have remove curse. We have a lot of it. Protection from fire. Okay, so we've got 2 points now. There's Pikel. He has a whip of electrocution. We don't know if he has a wand, which potentially makes him really dangerous. But As long as we just use our mushrooms like this, should be fine. Oh, okay, so someone was coming from that side. I didn't notice until too late. I want to hit Pikel. Got him. And we'll make a new mushroom to replace that one. We are currently on 2 piety, although we might be about to go down. You get an ability called Sunlight, which I don't use very often. It has a really funny ability to just wreck electric eels. Not that that's a good use, but it's always funny. So it makes light over a small area. You can use it to find invis creatures. It also gives you a little bit of a hit bonus against enemies. Here, water affected by sunlight will evaporate. Shallow water will dry up completely. So if you have electric eels, you can hit them with sunlight and they basically drown. So they take damage every turn that they're out of water. I always gain a lot of amusement from that, even if it is a waste of piety. Okay, so I could have shown you there on the red altar. If we go to evolve, oh, we really can't evolve these because they're withered plants. Interesting. Okay, so we're not allowed to make Oclobs out of Ured's plants apparently. Let's recharge our Wand of Acid. 6 charges. Yeah, not the greatest, but it's okay. I'll shoot one and then shut the door. Whoa, that's a lot of stuff. We want to get back to our dudes, but we also want to be in the hallway. This is kind of like a lose-lose. I think we acid down the line here. Hit as many bees as we can. And unfortunately, they're dodgy characters. Let's get, if we're not in the hallway, we may as well be back on top of our mushrooms. Okay, we're doing it. We lost one. Let's make a replacement. And there's another corpse up there. Wow, Skybase got destroyed. More nets is always good. I guess I may as well have the immolation. The immolation is really dangerous, as it always is when you have followers, because if you blow up your mushrooms with it, you'll get penance, and you'll get briefly. It's not excommunicated. I guess it's just penance. So you'll briefly lose access to your god. It's a ring of stealth. That's not that exciting, but yeah, it'll do. It's better than the current nothing we have. Nothing here, so we can bring our guys with us. Some gnolls. Probably should have tried to zip zap him with the frost. What did he have? A spear of freezing. He's also got a buckler. Well, we can't use a buckler with the two-handed glaive we have anyway, so I'm not even going to pick it up. Let's do the 7. Oh, 7 heal wounds, the dream. I didn't even dare utter my hope that it might be 7 heal wounds, because that is a crazy number. There's an almost absurd number of heal wounds. Right, our flaming glaive does no damage to that guy. There's Uruk with a War Axe of Pain. Let's get behind our mushrooms. And Uruk is just making quite short work of them, but that's okay. That's another dangerous unique down, and we'll again replace our mushrooms. Still sitting at 2 piety. Whoa boy. This was okay when we were a troll with Song of Slaying. I'm not sure how I feel about this right now. What I could do... Oh man, is this gonna kill us? Alright. We have 2 points of RF. I don't know if you see where this is going. So if I read immolation, say I blow this guy up, he'll only blow up one tile. So he's not going to hit my mushrooms. One guy blowing up, or even two, with 2 points of RF shouldn't kill me. Okay, are we doing it? I think we are. Alright, let's go. If I die like this, I feel like it's glorious enough that it's worthy. Okay, we read immolation. Now we need to kill one. Alright, so are we dying? We're killing everything in there. Alright, so that worked. Put that in your highlight reel. That's why immolation is actually really, really good. Although our problem now is that our wandering mushrooms are all immolated. So if anything comes from behind us, we might be in trouble. Okay, I think we're good. Alright, we're good. So, that was sick. That might be one of the best uses of immolation I've ever done. How good was that though? In the right situation, as you saw, immolation, very, very, very strong. If you didn't have RF though, or even if you only had 1 point, that might have been a bit scary. There was a glowing trident there. Trident of freezing. We may as well see if it's really highly enchanted. +0. Not that exciting. Komodo dragon. That was no good. I got confused. I wanted to try to walk around my mushrooms in such a way like this that multiple of them would be able to help, but I pretty much just made him 1 vs 1 of my mushrooms. And we found a book of battle! Okay, this is my favorite run ever. Okay, so the book of battle is my favorite book, and with a Polearm Merfolk, it's pretty much the absolute dream. So in particular, Spectral Weapon is my favorite spell, but also Song of Slaying's really good, Regeneration's really good as well. Shroud we wouldn't use so much anymore, and Infusion past the first few levels of the dungeon, not so good either. So definitely learning these. Maybe not yet though. Maybe not yet. No, it's worth it. Let's go. Let's learn Spectral Weapon. We're doing pretty fine killing things as it is. So let's just train a million skills at once. Anyone who doesn't like that, please close your eyes, because we are going to train 100 things. Let's get Spectral going. That's the one that I most would like, because that will, again, even though we're not having DPS issues, Spectral Weapon gives you so much more damage. Excellent. It's on B. I want it ultimately to be on A, but we'll leave Freeze there for the moment, until Spectral gets castable. And then some of those other spells we'll be learning too in time. Do I have more spell levels? I do. I may as well learn Song of Slaying now as well. And same as last game, well, I probably have the same macro. Yep, so I've got a macro on 2 for Song of Slaying, although we can't yet use it. But with some charms, we will quite soon. 2 enchant armor is really nice. Get out of here, Jelly. We are near starving. There's Snorg. She didn't see us. She's way too scary. So she goes berserk, and she has troll regen, and basically a million damage. So if you can, don't fight her. Which makes me think that I want to just be done with this floor. I can check out what's down here, because this is the opposite corner to where Snog is. But then I think after that, probably we'll head into Lair. Ooh, we got a troll. That could potentially give us troll leather armor. It didn't. Let's replace our dead mushroom. Troll leather armor is one that I might consider wearing. Especially seeing as we already have RF from a ring. Alright, I probably shouldn't have auto-explored that last time. Let's go back up. I believe Lair's on 8. So this is the kind of tedious bit. You have to go one floor at a time. If I said just go to Lair, they'd all get left behind. And there it is. Right, here we are at Lair. So join me next time. We'll start our journey into Lair. We'll start becoming a bit more of a hybrid character now that we've got some spells that I'm really keen to start using. And we're starting to get our fighting skills up there as well. See you later.